Hey, good afternoon, everybody. John here at Havoc Maker Studio, and today I want to do a quick speculation. Not even a quick speculation. It's going to be a long-ish speculation, probably about shorter than my normal videos, but longer than a speculation video. Though I don't know what the actual run length of a speculation video should be, what the average is. But we're going to set a standard here today. So we're going to talk mainly about Marvel Crisis Protocol, but we will kind of delve a little bit into Star Wars, but not too much because I'm still trying to learn the in and outs of the Star Wars Legion game. Not so much the other two, but the Legion really attracts me a lot more than the X-Wing or Armada. So what do we know right now? Ministravaganza is in 29 days. It's going to be coming up on June 9th, 10th, and 11th. And if it's anything like the past Ministravaganzas, we will see a host of sneak peeks, but now with Star Wars. We didn't have that before, but now we'll have Star Wars sneak peeks in there. And we'll see, of course, Marvel Crisis Protocol. We'll see some paint videos, some gameplay videos, maybe of the content that we're seeing, so we get to see it in action. Then we get some developers getting on at various points throughout the 3 days and discussing X, Y, Z, and maybe, if we're paid subscribers, we can interact with them and ask them pointed questions. So that aside, I've got a number of speculation, stills, slides, whatever, that I want to cover over 2 videos that I think is what we're going to see happen. But before we go there, I want to discuss what we've already seen so far and what we haven't seen but we know is coming. What I'm referring to is, of course, we have Supergiant and Black Swan revealed, and Heimdall and Scourge revealed. It took me a little bit to kind of piece this together, at least do some mental gymnastics and whatnot. But I think that they are earlier sneak peeks or releases than what they intended. The reason why I say this is we have seen evidence, and it's backed up on the Asmodee site. It's backed up on at least one retailer and through one of my sources that the members of the Winter Guard or the Soviet super soldiers, whatever you want to call the team name, we had Urza, Red Guardian, Black Star, and Crimson Dynamo. We had those 4 announced. We saw their numbers. We saw their pricing. Everything was legit. Everything is backed up. But why, if they are going to be releasing so soon, I believe it was this month or in June, I think it might have been June, that why haven't we seen anything? My guess, and it's based on loose circumstantial information and just kind of adding it all up and kind of putting it together into a working theorem, that with everything going on in the Ukraine, with Russia's war in the Ukraine, regardless of how you feel about that, because we're not going to talk about the political ramifications or anything like that. We're not here to discuss that. We're here to discuss that there is a war going on. And with Asmodee, not Atomic Mass Games, but Asmodee, who owns Atomic Mass Games, is a European-based country, and it could also be a decision on Atomic Mass Games' part that it would be very bad optics. And I didn't want to agree with other people, and I apologize. I'm now walking back my words because I see what the point you're trying to make. That it could be bad optics to release these Russian or Soviet era superheroes or superheroes to them, supervillains maybe to other people, reveal them with this heightened sensitivity, this point in time that's very hypersensitive to such things. So to not release those right now, Supergiant and Black Swan, Heimdall and Scourge were moved up in place of them. So coming out this quarter instead of the Winter Guard. Winter Guard, I really don't think they're just going to toss the Winter Guard because it's already been produced, supposedly. I mean, they have revealed the pre-orders for it. They've got all the information, which means they've got the stock already built up. So the models are there. They're just probably going to push them off for a later date when the situation has calmed down. That is my best guess in that regard. I don't know what you guys think. That is just where my thought process is. Like I said, very loose circumstantial information, evidence that I'm just adding together, trying to piece together why we're not seeing the release of the Winter Guard right now. So that aside, we know that the Ministravaganza is coming up, like I said, in 29 days, June 9th, 10th, and 11th. And we're going to see a host of Star Wars and Marvel Crisis miniatures and content coming down the line. And there's a lot of speculation articles out there, not too many speculation videos, but a lot of speculation articles. So I want to do a video of what I'm thinking that we're going to see. I really don't have a whole lot of evidence based on this. The Asgardians and the Fantastic Four was the only information I've received hints on, and the Fantastic Four information was not the most reliable of sources. I think they were just predicting that it would come, but passing it off as, hey, I've got word that Fantastic Four is coming out. They might have gotten word, but unless I see some sort of evidence, otherwise I have to treat it as rumor, treat it as with a grain of salt. So assuming that they're just predicting it like the rest of us, I mean, it makes sense. Anyways, let's get into this and then we can piece that apart. So first up, I want to go ahead and talk about the rest of the Sinister Six, or the Spider Foes. We've already talked about this before in some of my other videos on when we're talking about we need more villains. And we do. And yes, there's plenty more Spider Foes out there. But here are 4 of the biggest Spider Foes that we have yet to see. So we've got Electro, which I think they're going to go with the newer version, the female version. I think it's Francine is her name. And as the original Dylan, he died in the comics quite badly. And we have Vulture. Vulture is very popular thanks to Michael Keaton. And of course, he's a well-written kind of side character. We have the Rhino. A lot of tragedy has happened to him in the comics in recent years, unfortunately. But I think we still might see him popping up. And of course, Sandman. These are 4 of the most iconic, next to the ones we've already have, of like the originals. Now, we could also throw in, yes, there's Hobgoblin. We have the Chameleon, Hydro-Man, the Shocker. Yes, there's plenty of other characters out there, but these ones have gotten more comic book time than the others, especially in recent years. So I think if we do see this, we're going to see the Rhino probably on a 55 millimeter base. Electro and Vulture will be on the standard. I think it's a 35 millimeter base. And we might get 2 different versions of, I think his name is Kane Mark. No, that's Juggernaut. Flint. I think it's Flint Marco. Whatever his name is. The Sandman. We might get 2 versions similar to what we have with Miss Marvel, where he can change his size. We might see another character where he can basically flip sides, or flip in and out, depending on how much power he's using and such. Kind of like how Miss Marvel can swap base sizes. I'm thinking that's what we might see in that regards. Let's see here. Moving on, let's cover... Man, I think I got my images out of order. All right, Thunderbolts. Here we go. Thunderbolts are another group. This is just me speculating. This is the first video, guys. I think there's some more qualified ones, but I want to get through these first. Thunderbolts, I think visually and gameplay-wise, are destined for the tabletop. As we've seen, they're going for a lot of original, colorful costumes. And this would definitely draw a lot of attention. And we've got, 6 characters here? We could have our first giant size, actual giant size model. I could see him in his own box. I think it's gosh, I can't think of his name. The whoever the leader is, Norman Osborn's character there with the sword. Him in his own box for like $24.95, and then you break up the other 4 characters into 2 separate boxes if they reveal them all at the same time. Anyways, I think we might see just maybe 2 or 3 of these characters to start off, an Atlas character and maybe the leader and a couple other characters, but that'll be it. So I think Thunderbolts have a strong possibility of appearing during the Ministravaganza. Because remember, we still have, once June drops, we have another, after June, or after this, well, if we count June, if we count June, we have, 7 months? 7 months left for this year. And just because the Ministravaganza is in 2022, it does not mean that we're not going to get these characters carried. We're going to get more characters that won't carry over into 2023. I'm just basing this on right now the next 7 months. So I think Thunderbolts definitely, man, I almost had the guy's name. I wanted to say Commander 1 or Victory Guy, whatever. You guys are probably screaming at me right now. I'm not a big fan of the Thunderbolts. I was when they kind of turned good, and then they went bad and they went good. But I still think on the tabletop they look absolutely brilliant. So next up, lots of talk about the Sentinels. I don't think it's any valid talk, like anything with backed up anything kind of backing it up, even though we do have little hints and pieces of the Sentinels literally popping up with the terrain set. We had the destroyed Sentinel terrain set that came out with the Roxxon gas station. And of course, we have Colossus with a torn arm and a smashed in head. So we definitely have seen enough Sentinel stuff. And I believe last year we saw glimpses of a leg. So is that going to be coming? I don't know, guys. And in what form? Will we see a Sentinel? Will we see the giant Sentinel? Will we see Nimrod? Will we see Bastion or any other variation of the Sentinels? I think we'll see a classic Sentinel for sure. But who's he going to release alongside? And how's that going to work? Is he going to be a cosmic threat? Because one Sentinel is not really a cosmic threat level type of character. Now, if it's like, say, Bastion or Nimrod alongside a Sentinel as a minion, it's in a cosmic threat encounter, then I could see that. That would definitely work out. But I think a Sentinel by itself, it's going to require some other auxiliary releases to make it worthwhile, because that's not really, like I said, a cosmic threat level. And they're probably going to be just as big as Dormammu and probably as big as some of our future giant sized characters. So this is low on my totem pole, but I wanted to go ahead and at least cover it because we have seen enough information coming out that the Sentinels are definitely doable. And so last up, I just want to go ahead and talk again about the Winter Guard. I think we will see the Winter Guard revealed. I think we're going to get them this year. I really do believe it, but it's all dependent upon how things end up with the Ukraine-Russian war. I mean, we might have to wait till next year, but I think it's definitely a possibility that we will see them at least mentioned. Because if not, I mean, they've got plenty of time. They got 29 days. They've actually had longer to sit and figure out, okay, we can't show the Winter Guard. What else do we have slated to cover that gap? Since we don't want to show it for reasons X, Y, Z, cool. Then we're going to put in, this reason and this model. All right, so this has just been my first speculation video for the Ministravaganza. I will be doing the second one later on today. I'm going to wait till about 7 o'clock. That way you guys have plenty enough time to get home, get some food in you, binge watch maybe Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, whatever it is that you're watching, and then you can sit down at your computer and watch this video, that at least the second speculation video. Anyways, you guys have yourself a wonderful day, and I'll chat with you guys later. See ya.